everybody uses the streets every single day. You know, whether you drive, whether you take public transport, you're always a pedestrian at some point during the day. So it's a matter that is really important to lots of people. Yet we don't put so much priority into the quality of our streets as perhaps we think about the health service, about policing, about other big public services. So what we do as an organisation is campaign for better streets, campaign to give a stronger voice for the views of pedestrians, and then give really practical help to actually improve local areas and to get more people out and about.
I use this route that we're standing on to walk the dog, and sometimes just for pleasure. Sometimes I walk through the alleyway just there to get to Thames Road.
Now the walking conditions here are good, very good. It's lovely that we've got all the trees because you hear the birds all the time.
In Thames View we looked at some of the different areas people could walk to, and that included the river, which is over here. There's a ditch along here where people can play. There are local shops. There's the centre of Barking, which is a big market, and a train station, which is only a 25-minute walk.
Living streets have made a difference here. They're encouraging people to walk more, and when you get more people walking, you just see the whole area differently, and it makes it look better, and it's nicer if it's well used.
So they'll go to local residents' meetings, they'll meet them one-to-one, they'll discuss individual concerns with local residents, they'll meet with the local police. Lots of stuff which we ourselves as a council do, but we sometimes do it in a more formal way, whereas they'll do it in a much more informal way, which is much more beneficial for the local community and gives them an opportunity then to open up more and perhaps work in harmony with the community.
Living Streets has been a great help. Yes, it has encouraged me to walk a little bit more, but it's also pinpointed a lot of the areas which maybe we have missed in the past. For example, the entrance to the subway, which leads you into Barking town, and that's highlighted that, and we've now got that as one of our causes.
We were really keen to get make the shops more attractive as a place, as a destination in this area, and we had a street party which was organised by the residents and the shopkeepers.
I hadn't actually heard of Living Streets until Jack was doing a bit of a recce in the area and asking who would be willing to take part. And from our point of view, it was brilliant because we'd only been here a couple of months, and the problem we had was letting people know we were actually here. That's another thing the street party did. It brought people together, and it did bring people into the produce shops that don't normally come, particularly the elderly, because they've still got it in their head there's trouble here.
We went to meet Jack at Living Streets right in our first week on the project. He told us the results of the audit. He talked specifically about one of the sites for our signs, which is by the ditch or the creek. And he talked to us about the tenants and residents group, about their feelings, and actually one of the things that he said was that they just wanted something nice for their area, and that has really actually unlocked lots of doors for us because we've been able to go in and know we have some budget to do some really beautifully designed things in your area if you will work with us and help them be really meaningful for you.
I first met Jack from Living Streets probably last October, and we've been looking at ways to kind of get people from the local estate to kind of visit down here. So we organised an event, a bird walk, in November, where we basically picked up people from the local estate, we walked them down here, and then we had a guided bird tour. And even I've been here a year, and I've seen a lot more people coming here and using the site since we've been running these events.
They took 120 children school children down to the river, which was absolutely brilliant, and the kids, they were just absolutely in awe because they hadn't seen the river before. So that's the kind of thing Living Streets is encouraging, and of course we back them up on that 100%.
I became involved with this group around about 2 years ago now. I did a presentation of the project, and one of the members of the group was there and asked me to come back and speak to their group, which I did, and they were very interested in what I had to say, and they felt that the project could really help them in their aims in improving this site here.
Have actually used this area when my children were younger. We actually used to go for walks around here. But obviously as the years progressed, the area deteriorated. It wasn't being looked after very well. And so a lot of people, including myself and my family, stopped using it.
And then when we were approached to ask if we'd like to do something about the area, I jumped at that chance, as well as Margaret did. Ted did, and everybody else did.
It's been great for me as a constituency MP to be able to get involved in a very practical way, both here at Martin Wells Lake, but also in the community doing street walks, to point out to the council and others about, you know, relatively small things that can make the environment outside our front doors be a much more pleasant place to live without a huge amount of money going into it.
We carried out an audit about 2 years ago. We had a look around the site, went round with the group and other interested parties and partner organisations, and looked at what we wanted to achieve in the area, what was achievable, what was realistic in kind of the time frame that we had.
Jim Shaw from Living Streets has obviously been a very active person involved in this group, and it's just been great to see Living Streets with both colleagues from the council like Dennis and others, the police, some businesses, but importantly the volunteers who live here being part of this project.
We've also had help from the local prison service, and we've had prisoners here doing their community payback hours actually resurfacing the path, so that's been a huge benefit. We've had other organisations like St Ledger Homes, who are the housing company here in Doncaster. They provided funds and resources for the group to buy tools and help repair some of the fencing around the site as well. We've also worked with local schools and colleges.
They've enjoyed, I think, coming down and working with practical work rather than the academic side of things.
We used to get burnt out cars where they'd come down, they'd bring the cars down, they'd steal the cars, come down here to burn them out, drugs dens. And we have eliminated, by doing what we're doing, we've eliminated most of that. In fact,
it's virtually zero now.
It's virtually zero now, which I think is a massive achievement for us and the community.
Well, a lot more people seem to be taking ownership now because the area's been cleaned up.
Jim's funding has funded the wood to make the benches. We keep going to different bodies, and without the agencies, we couldn't do this, so it's a team effort. And this area is lovely because it's close to the local supermarket. You see people walking around here that have been to the supermarket, down the shops, and they take this route now to walk back home. And it's just a lovely, beautiful place to be now.
I live down in the bottom end of the village, which is quite a distance from here, but also I can use this, and I have used it, to go up to my mother-in-law's. But mainly it's just, you just come up to see the wildlife. The enjoyment I get out of walking around here when I do, and I usually do it near the evening, is seeing the people that are actually around it with the families.
I find it's better than a tonic to come around here when I'm feeling a bit down. I bring the grandchildren up and their mates regularly. Whenever they come visiting, they want to come straight up here. And thirdly, I do organise group walks around.
What sometimes people need is people who can come along, like Living Streets, to provide them with a bigger picture of what is possible and to give some of that expert ideas and support and contacts and networks. Because I'm sure many people every day say, oh, something should happen about that. But unless an organisation or community representatives come along and say, well, let's turn that thought into a practical measure, too often, you know, the thought doesn't become a reality. So we've shown that actually, you know, with the voluntary sector, the council, we've had businesses, landscaping businesses help us out as well. As volunteers from in the community, we can make a difference. And I hope, and I'm sure it will be, an inspiration for the many other projects that are on our list in Edlington.
Cleaner Greener Griffin Community Group are today celebrating after being presented with the Living Streets Neighbourhood Award in recognition of the work that they've done to improve the local walking environment around the Taylor Street Bridge. With me in the studio is Bernard Kennedy.
Living Streets have been working now in this area for the last 2 or 3 years, encouraging more people to use the streets for what they're intended, getting people walking and thereby creating safe, attractive, enjoyable streets where people want to be. So this project came along to look at the area of the bridge and work out how we could encourage more people to walk under and use this route. It's a valuable route that people want to walk to school, to community centres.
The walkway under Taylor Street Bridge is a vital link between the Gallagreaves area, or Holland Bridge area. Without going under this bridge, it's a 20-minute walk round to get just to the other side.
I've lived in the area for 26 years. The major issues and problems around this area was drug abuse, alcohol abuse. It was full of graffiti. A
lot of people have not felt secure enough to use this bridge because it's been poorly lit, overgrown.
It was used for all sorts of antisocial behaviour. It was just a real issue, and people were just too afraid to walk under it.
We have a partnership agreement with the local authority in Blackburn with Darwen, and they've provided the litter skips. They improved the lighting. You know, we put on our audit that the lighting was insufficient, and they've added extra lamp posts down there to light the way. So yeah, it has been a true partnership.
As a team, we all got together and worked together, went with notepads and said what we was going to do. You know, nearly 2 years ago, you know, and we look at it today, and we've achieved so much by working together as a community and with Living Streets, and it's made a dramatic difference. We have many community clean-ups. I call them little kiddie picks. They like putting the little high-vis vests on and getting the litter pickers, and it teaches them not to drop litter as well, and it gives them a bit of pride where they live, you know, and then they see people dropping it, they'll say no, because we've got to clean it up. And the children feel a sense of importance as well, that they're doing something, and they are our future generation, so we have to get them young and teach them now.
The school nearby, St Luke's and St Philip's School, they've been quite active in supporting us, and the children walked this route as part of that and said, oh, you know, wouldn't it be good to have some like markings or something to like make it a little bit fun. And the first idea was just footsteps, but it progressed into like, well, we could have some hop, skip and a jump type of activity trails, so that was the next step.
When we come here, we see more people walking through and doing the footprints and everything, when before we didn't, like hardly anybody came.
You've seen the parents actually doing it as well, which is absolutely fantastic.
Well, another side issue of the project was brought up by the Healthy Communities Partnership of the area, who wanted to get more people walking out in all of the wards, all of the neighbourhood areas. We were asked as Living Streets to work on 5 maps, one for each ward, and the bridge here came into the Mill Hill map, so naturally we included it. So this became then a walking route, a circular route from the community centre under the bridge and back to the community centre. The 5 maps that have been produced have now got the bridge marked on and a little bit about the bridge and all other useful buildings in the area as well. And it puts on how many steps it is, how many miles it is, and then so people can think, right, well, I've increased my walking, I've done 2,000 extra steps today.
We've been distributing the walking maps throughout at different ward solution meetings, community groups. So some people have been through and not even known it existed, and now it's like, wow, we've got this fantastic blue bridge and we can bring our kids to play. Presenting
the award today is like the end of the process, really. You know, we've achieved all the objectives of the project by cleaning up the bridge, getting more people walking, making it more sustainable so that it can be carried on without Living Streets there, so that the residents can take on that ownership.
Everybody for a photo.
Big thumbs up to everybody for being involved. A lot of you people have actually done the work. Carol under Clean Greener Griffin has led you, and I think she'll continue to lead you. So well done to Carol. Carol, give us a handshake.
You feel safer walking to school?
We've got the lollipop ladies.
Yeah, the lollipop ladies there.
We did have problems when we first moved to the school about the traffic. It's quite a busy road that the school's situated on, but we managed to get a petition, the parents and other people in the area.
I feel that the community has benefited by working with Living Streets because they're more aware now of the local area. The children are more active. They've also helped us to lobby to reduce the speed limit outside the school, and in 2012 the speed limit's going to be reduced to 20 miles per hour for the safety of our children.
The lorries and the cars were going too fast, and we were frightened in case the children ran into the road and got knocked over, and at the top street as well, where the crossing is. It's been good.
Yeah, that's pretty slow.
That's pretty good, that.
We've been involved with Living Streets and the Get Active project, which is trying to encourage our parents and our pupils to walk to school more.
Up until probably the walk, I hadn't had much knowledge of the scheme until we got the flyer mail shot things from school. But I think it did prompt a lot of people to do the walk because of the they want to participate, you know, to keep healthy and get the children into it, away from their toys and games and all sorts, you know, so to give them a bit more healthy living.
And also to explore areas that we'd never been to before, which are close to school and which we've used since. So it was nice to meet up with other parents as well.
Highfield is actually 3 separate communities, but because of this programme, it's actually brought those 3 communities together to give them that strong collective voice which is actually needed to get improvements made, especially in today's climate where it's harder and more financial restraint is on local authorities to actually deliver programmes.
And one of the successes was a health day that we organised together in partnership with Living Streets, and the community and the school that took part in, they are thinking of making it an annual event. So that was quite a positive thing which came out of this partnership working.
I believe the community street audits that are carried out in partnership with their local residents via Living Streets are an excellent tool for local authorities to utilise on. We've carried out several within West Gateshead, which is the area I cover, and a lot of the local ward councillors have actually utilised these to lobby for highway improvements where previously they wouldn't have been able to do that. So without this partnership with Living Streets, we wouldn't get what's actually needed in the communities.
Everybody's got a busy life, and I don't have a chance when I do my fortnightly groups to get a chat or talk to people personally. So when we're out on the walks, it's lovely because I have a one-to-one to them.
I've been doing the walks and over the past year with them, and I signed the pledge in March. It's motivated me to do more walking.
So we have walked up to the local park when it's been a nice day, around the village.
Just because Ellen does quite well with...
Because I've had both hips replaced, so I needed to get out and walk more. So that was the reason I signed the pledge.
The pledges have worked really well. Everybody's been committed, and it sort of gives people an incentive, really.
Well, you're conversing with one another.
Talking to each other.
They might know something of local knowledge that you don't know.
I seem to sleep better, and I enjoy being out in the fresh air.
I wouldn't know any of these walks if it wasn't for belonging to the group.
In Stroger's Wood, it was quite marshy and muddy, and we've had a couple of walks up there, and everybody was absolutely filthy when they came back. And due to Living Streets, they actually put a pathway along there.
Way, been good, hasn't it?
Right, Marie, I'm very pleased on behalf of Living Streets to present you with this Fitter for Walking award in recognition of how you and your group have helped to make the route to this school safer and got people in your community out walking more.
Thanks very much.
Everyone, I believe, can actually relate to the agenda that Living Streets is about and what the organisation works towards, whether we're a car user or not. We're a pedestrian at some time in our lives or in the day. We've highlighted that we don't need masses and large amounts of money to make a change. We've done simple things from leading walks that haven't cost us any money, and we've managed to target over 1,700 children by doing that.
We're a long way from any countryside. When Living Streets came along with the project, we managed to improve the area, particularly by the road, where a path that was really quite treacherous was regenerated, made into a nice shape, moulded to the sides of the brook.
We welcome Living Street's involvement in this because it meant that we could focus on this area and enhancing the walking environment.
Since I've lived here, I've noticed that they've built a pathway. It was quite rocky before and there was a lot of tree roots to get over, so it's a lot easier to come down with the pushchair. Doing the community street audits and actually engaging with the community in perhaps a way that we weren't able to, it has drawn attention to the areas in question. I think the Living Street audit has contributed to the voice for the local community.
We've got very similar aims. What we're looking at is trying to engage the local communities around green spaces to get them more actively involved. So it was a really good partnership.
I feel that this has been improved with the library and the walks, and the litter picking days has got not only the adults but the children involved as well. And really I feel that this is getting to be a good education for the children because they're learning to appreciate nature.
Because it's quite near to my house. I went to Thingwall Brook. When I went with my school, there was lots of wildlife and the brook was quite clean, and it's quite nice just going with your family and having like some fun there and everything.
It's also nice when maybe you have visitors who live somewhere else to show them how nice around where you live is.
Just having a nice established route makes it a lot easier to come out, makes it a social occasion.
You're 2 seconds away from a really dense industrial landscape, and here you wouldn't really know.
When Living Streets came and we did a street audit, couldn't believe all the issues that we actually picked up on that morning.
Living Streets have improved what we call the street furniture. The new path is very well used. Either side of the path is going to be planted by children from the local school. The signage with the notice boards has really encouraged people to stop, to read information about the site, and then to look at what's going on. A few extra people have joined the litter picks. A few more people have come forward to do the environmental work. So it's had a really positive effect on the community.
The focus on walking is brilliant because we're able to show people nature without saying, come look at nature.
We've provided training so walks can be continued. We've provided equipment so they can maintain the sites. We've provided tools for the schools to continue the work that we've started. So it's simple things that will hopefully initiate the site to be used by future generations.
The particular benefits of this type of project are that it brings together the promotion of walking, encouraging things like group health walks, but also, and really importantly, it helps people, and training has been provided to people with community street audits.
We are now trying to put in a zebra crossing so we can walk freely across to it.
I think when you start working with a community, I think their focus is very much on their initial issues. However, the project has allowed to widen that remit and for communities to think beyond the problems, and we just allow those ideas to be expanded and provide them with the confidence that's needed.
You only have to see how many people are using this path really created by Living Streets to see that was really money very, very well worth spent. And that path will be here for years and years. Now it's created, it'll be easier to maintain. I think it's fantastic value for money.
What have you got to say about the rain?
The rain, welcome to England.
Sunshine is in the summer, blue skies are over me, fun and laughter in the summer, on the beach and in the sea, sun all day long, no rain or grey clouds, we'll have a good time till summer's gone. Kick back, enjoy the summer, all day and night too. Relax, enjoy the summer.